Right, let's just settle into our meditation posture. And if your feet are down on the ground, flat on the floor, make sure they're in a parallel position. And if you're quite tight in the hips and you're in the regular cross-legged position, you can put a couple of cushions underneath your knees. And make sure your sit bones are raised. And maybe something on underneath them, something firm. You want your pelvic bowl to be upright, not tipping too far forward, too far back. Hi Shayla, and welcome Victor, nice to see you. Shoulders are over the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up to the crown of the head and through the crown of the head. The hands are in the meditation posture, your mudra, with the right hand nestled in the left and the thumbs are touching. So imagine your head is reaching towards the ceiling, top of your head. So the head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And just relax. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, just relax the jaw. Let's bring our awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes. And go to the outer edges of your eyes, where your eyelashes are, and just relax the corner of the eye. See what happens. Relax the nose, the cheeks. Then just bring our awareness to the back of the head, the occipital bone. Relax that area, the ears, the inner ear, the temples, back of the neck, the shoulders, upper thoracic, the throat, the chest, your belly. You can take a nice deep breath if you wish. Relax the shoulders, the limbs, the hands, fingers, feet and toes. Let's bring our mind to the breath. Notice the sensation of the air as you're breathing in through the nostrils. Slightly cooler than the air you're breathing out. And you may notice a sensation somewhere on the outside of the nose, but it depends often on the shape of the nose, but also on whether you've been trained in any other technique in meditation. Sometimes certain techniques, in the Burmese tradition I learned in, they teach you to feel sensation at the base of the nose. Other Pali traditions will teach you the tip of the nose. So for our purposes here, we're doing it quite simply, so it doesn't matter particularly, unless you had some sort of training and you're familiar. If you are noticing any any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to have your mind run off to search for them, to find out what's going on. Or if those sounds are annoying you, try not to push them away with aversion. Just simply allow them to be. Keep bringing the mind back to the breath. And then you'll notice you have some thoughts arising, abiding, falling, So try not to engage with your thoughts. Try not to allow your mind to be distracted by what's going on in your head. And just feel. So here we are again doing our Vajrasattva practice in the context of the four opponent powers, and just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. This is a psychological process we are engaging in, so we're using our mind as well as these practices. So, if you're really, really rushed for time, you can just whiz through the mantra. But if you don't engage your mind as you're doing the mantra, it doesn't really have the same effect. So you just really have to think about what it is we're doing rather than doing it mindlessly. So first of all, we start with regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm another sentient being. Perhaps something happened today. Maybe it was last week or last year or last life. Just regret from the depths of your heart. And basically the reason we regret is using the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, caused them to suffer, we will experience suffering in the future ourselves. So therefore, given that we cannot hardly tolerate the suffering that we are experiencing now, we don't want really to encourage any more of this. So logically we would want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as suffering for us in the future. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I am sick of suffering. So we also regret any anger. This is our delusions, our attachment and the rest, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I am sick of this suffering. Then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And we turn to the Buddha, the doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need the Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for forgiveness here. We're wanting to use his methods to heal ourselves, to purify ourselves. So visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. And you can imagine this is your guru manifesting in this way for your benefit. So if you have a teacher, a trusted mentor, a lama, or however you see them in your mind, that perhaps this person is leading you on the path, the spiritual path. And perhaps if you don't have a teacher, you can imagine for the time being His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So this is just somebody in a human form that makes it a little bit more personal. So he's sitting above the crown of your head, Vajrasattva, made of blissful, radiant white light. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. He has this beautiful, radiant, youthful face. Just gorgeous to look at, attractive. He has beautiful eyes. They're long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. He's also wearing this 5-pointed crown on his head, embedded with jewels. And around his neck, his waist, his arms, wrists and ankles, he's wearing these celestial silken robes in the Royal Indian style and scarves. And he has an aura around his head and around his body. To the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So here's this little section on developing compassion. And so we need to rely on others, actually, in order to develop compassion. We don't just kind of generate it out of midair. So we're relying upon other beings. So first of all, think of the people and the sentient beings you've harmed, and try to develop in your heart a sense of compassion for them, a feeling that you don't want them to suffer, you want them to be free from suffering. And remember those who have harmed you, and it's probably a little bit more difficult, this one. You have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm that they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings. And think, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification and visualization. So first we start with the purification of the body. Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, forcefully pouring into you from his heart. And it kind of arcs around and enters your crown, pouring into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring in until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiri Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sudam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dura Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. and think there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. So as soon as anyone sees you, smells you, looks at you, brings them benefit, lightens their heart, benefits their mind. So next is purification of the speech. And Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And it's kind of quite a forceful thing, it's almost as if, you see the whale spouting. So you can imagine you're just kind of, this is the negative energy of your speech, all kind of disappearing up into space with this dirty, kind of like mucky stuff. So it's all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs. And this is all purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same, remember, same as when we walk into a room, switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled. So all the attachment and anger, neediness, anxiety, depression, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, disappointment, all these kind of heavy emotions, feelings, it's all completely dispelled by the light filling us. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all our suffering and why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone. And think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and wisdom and bliss and compassion and kindness. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And this time imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending again light and nectar. Or, as we have been doing, you can do a couple of mantras for each of the visualizations of the body, speech and mind. It's up to you. And as soon as this light and nectar from Vajrasattva's heart enters your crown and fills you, it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mempe Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawakama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So now feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next is the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And here we're just making a decision to not harm. And ideally to not harm ever again, but because we're human and we have habits, sometimes habits from lifetimes ago, we keep kind of slipping up. So we just focus on one little thing at a time. Maybe it's to do with your speech, something to do with the body. Maybe you accidentally pick up those stylus pens as you're walking out the door from the grocery store. Lama Rinpoche defines stealing as taking the ungiven. So we have to be very, very careful what we pick up. So I think it's also about being a bit more mindful with our speech, mindful with our body, and mindful with ourselves, with our own mind. So if you've noticed any changes in some of the things that you've been working on, really take this opportunity to pat yourself on the back and rejoice in your efforts, coming here night after night after night, just continuously working on your mind and your practice. It's wonderful, very inspiring. So next, Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. So in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for just a moment. So we can think of all phenomena as being empty, they do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way we perceive things may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. What we think is going on may not be what is going on. So let's just dedicate all the merit and the positive energy we have created this evening doing this purification together to all living beings, thinking, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving and spreading Manjanath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Yeshe, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher, leading your students towards wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequaled guide. Please live a long and stable life. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Mary.